Shayna.
And I'm Jessica.
And this is Don't Call Me Crazy, Call Me Mom
podcast. And this is our first episode, so welcome.
Bear with us.
We have no idea what we're doing.
So we have known each other for quite a bit of time. We both have 2 kids. Our oldest both will be 7 come this spring.
Year,
yeah. And then I have a 4-year-old.
And I have a 2-year-old.
And our kids and becoming moms is pretty much what brought us together.
Yep, it did. So we met each other before we were moms. But then after having our first, we got a lot closer.
Yes. A lot of things I feel like that moms don't talk about, we talked about with each other. I thought I was crazy for feeling a lot of the ways that I did, being a first-time parent and everything, until I met Jess.
And then she found out I was crazier.
And our husbands agree. So we met, I don't even know when, a random birthday party of
Our
a good friend.
30th birthday.
Yes. And I was just telling Jess, I specifically remember her coming from work. I didn't even know, I knew who she was, but we didn't know each other. Like, we weren't quite friends. And she was in her scrubs because she's a nurse. And she brought our friend an IV, and I thought it was so funny. And she asked me how I stayed so skinny. And I told her it's because I poop a lot, because I have stomach problems. And she laughed and told me my hair was like a news anchor.
She reminded me of a news anchor.
And I'm not a news anchor by any means. But that's when I fell in love with her.
That was when we fell in love with each other.
And I think we friend requested each other the next day. And then we didn't talk again for a year or 2?
Yeah, for a little while. So my husband and I, we both watch America's Got Talent, and Shin Lim, the magician, won 1 season, so we got tickets to go, and I posted about it online, and then Shayna and Steve actually got tickets too, and we weren't sitting together, but we decided to meet up beforehand and have dinner, and it was like we were old friends, like we've known each other forever.
We both had our first kid by then.
Yes.
And we started just sharing stories, and then the guys were just looking at each other, like our husbands, like, is she always like this? Yes. Is she always like this? And I was just like, oh my God, I met my true soulmate. And then that's when we really started becoming friends, I think, and staying in touch. And
getting the kids together.
yes, having play dates. I was just telling Jess, her son is my daughter's longest friend, I think she's had. Like, she met him before she turned 2, between 1 and 2.
Like 1.5.
And now they'll be 7 soon.
Yeah.
So,
Time flies.
yeah. And we both moved close at the same time from our old houses to our new houses, and we lived close to each other. And we have very different lives. I'm a stay-at-home mom.
And I work full time as a nurse, yep.
And you're an awesome nurse. And we just still, even though we have very different lives and different routines, we still find so many similarities in, I think, being a mom and how we parent or mom, I guess. And for me, a lot of it is, before I had kids, it was things like my first year having my daughter, all these things I felt I never even told my husband about. I just had all these anxieties and everything. And after meeting you and you saying how you felt the same way, and then we have some friends in common who also felt the same way, I was just like, there has to be this whole unspoken thing that moms have all these worries and fears and anxieties and just crazy mom stories, but nobody ever talks about it.
Yeah. And my son was born premature and he was in the NICU, and I feel like just that in itself gave me a ton of anxiety. So I had a whole lot of postpartum issues. And I feel like now it's a lot more common to talk about that type of stuff. And it probably was when I was going through it, but I don't think I talked about it enough. So just kind of like working through those anxieties with somebody else who doesn't make you feel like you're crazy for thinking the crazy thoughts that you have, because we all have those thoughts. It's really nice.
That's what I think this podcast is going to be nice for, is other moms to just realize it's okay for me to say that, or even if I don't want to say it or talk about it, to hear other people talk about it and know that you are not the only one who feels that way
It's normal.
at all. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and my husband, anytime I go to him with like a news story or fear or anxiety or something I'm worried about or keeps me up at night, he's like, just relax, calm down, it'll be fine. And then he looks at me and I'm on my phone texting and he'll just be like, do not text Jess right now. And I'm like, no, because she's my hype person. She's going to tell me to feel my way times 10. Like, oh, you should feel that way, but you should feel that way worse than you do because I feel it like this.
Chances are I've already thought it and I've already planned it out. Like what to do if I'm in the situation. I have every step written down already, which is kind of scary.
When we first were looking at like sound machines or whatever, and you were like, have you tried the Hatch? And you can change the color of the nightlight. And I was like, I never even heard of the Hatch at this point, and we have one now. But you were like, I'm really interested in getting it, but I'm worried because I wanted to change the color to let my son know when it's okay to come out of his room in the morning. But you said, but what if there's an emergency and he's scared to come out at night because it didn't change the color yet? And I was like, yeah, what if like the house is on fire, but the Hatch is still yellow and it should be blue, and that when it's blue, they're allowed to come out of their room, but they think they can't and the house is burning down. And I'm reading it to my husband and he's like, you guys sound nuts. And I was like, we are not getting a Hatch. We have one now, but we don't do the color thing.
We have one too.
Yeah, things like that where it's just like, oh, I'm worried about going across the bridge and the bridge collapsing with my kids in the backseat and Jess is in the car behind me following me to the zoo. And I was like, did you have a panic attack across the bridge? Because I kind of did. And I picture my kids can't get out of the car and we're in the water. It's bad.
No,
but she's doing the same
all
thing.
All that. Every time I go over a bridge, actually.
I think it's something like we all have good, like, lifelong friends. Like, I have a friend, best friend since 3rd grade, who knows everything about me. But it is very different to find that mom friend who you can tell anything to and they don't judge you. They don't think you're crazy. If you are being crazy, they can tell you sometimes and you don't get upset at them. It's very rare that we tell each other we're crazy because we usually feel exactly the same. But I just think it's a very different relationship when you find that. And now that I have kids and I have all those worries and stuff, it's nice when people say you need a village. I do think you need a village, but I also think you just need those.
Your person.
Yes.
Your person.
That changes everything. But so anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Everything she said.
Our lives are crazy, and the kids are crazy, but we just hope that this lets everybody have a place to come, and we'll have different topics all the time. And
we already have a lot planned out, kind of on a little note sheet that we share. A lot of different things that we can't wait to talk about. Like going back to her being a stay-at-home mom and me working full-time. Talking about like struggles with breastfeeding and, you know, do we give our kid formula? Do we breastfeed? What do we do?
Even when it's like having that first newborn, like I didn't even want to take Madison for her whole first year into a store by myself with her.
And
ever.
Having children during COVID time, because that was terrifying. The beginning of COVID was terrifying.
Especially you being a nurse and going in to work all the time.
Yeah. In the very beginning, we didn't even know if we were going to be allowed to come home, which was the scary part.
Yeah. So. I remember you being here and the kids having a play date and you being like, how do I get out of going to work so I don't get stuck there?
But I went.
You did. She's an awesome nurse. She wins all kinds of awards and stuff like that. But, yeah. And it's exhausting. I feel like you see everything on Facebook, like the happy things. Like, I know I'm super guilty of it. It's like the Christmas pictures of your family or the fun holiday craft.
Your Facebook.
The little meals you make for your kid. All that stuff.
She has the perfect Facebook life. It's beautiful.
But it's all a lie. It's all fake. I mean, it's not a lie.
It's not.
It happens in those moments.
Yeah.
But
you only snap photos of the perfect moments.
Yeah.
It is. Record the perfect moments.
Behind the scenes, chaos. My son throws tantrums like nobody's business. That's something I'd like to talk about on the episode. If anybody has any comments on that.
My daughter too.
I don't know how to get that under control. I don't know how to help. I don't know what to do. It just, anything we do just gets it worse. But anyway, things like that. And then like the dog going nuts and barking, and my daughter walking into her room but taking her clothes off while she's walking when I said go in your room and change, and she's going up the stairs half unchanged. Like, just, it is pure chaos. The relationship you have with your husband or wife or spouse after kids, how that completely changes drastically. And how you guys can bicker a lot but then joke a lot, but like, how do you come back to being like a married couple again? I don't even know, because I'm still not there yet.
Working on it. Work in progress.
Just, it's all crazy, and I just feel like these days a lot of what people see is social media and not the real raw moments and feelings. So that's what we're going to try to bring to the table.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
We will.
We shall see. So anyway, anything else for our first one?
I don't know.
Not sure. That's how we met. We have two kids each. And we have dogs, and she has two.
Just got a puppy 2 weeks ago. Swore that I was never going to get a puppy, that we were never going to get another dog for a while. Like, our first dog is old, and you know, she's reaching her time. So I thought that we were going to be dog free for a while. But at the gym, they had a rescue in the middle of the gym with all these puppies. And all I could do was think about it in my whole workout class. So I was able to convince my husband to come up and meet him, and we rescued one of them. And now we've had him for about 2 weeks, and he's great. He's so cute. But yeah, that's a whole nother thing added to the table on top of the 2 kids, working full time. My husband's a chef, so his hours are wild. So yeah,
I
it's
feel
a
like
lot.
you guys have like super different, but like not extravagant. I don't know the word I'm looking for. Like careers. Like, you're like this nurse and you get all your like accolades and stuff like that, and your husband's a chef and like at a super popular place, like really well known, and people rave about it. It's not like your typical things you like hear people doing, like, oh, I'm just,
Yeah,
my husband's an IT guy. Nobody cares about the IT guys.
we care about them.
Although he did help us a lot with this.
we really care. Yeah, but we don't have normal schedules. So like most families have
Sure.
like the 8 to 4 or 9 to 5 or whatever those hours are. I don't know because we don't have them. But I work my 3/12s, and my husband works
A lot.
a lot. He doesn't really have a set schedule. It is just whatever it is. So it's kind of hard. I mean, thank God we have my father-in-law who watches the kids when we're both at work, and my mom helps out, and my mother-in-law. But my father-in-law is retired, so he is the main man with the kids when we're at work.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank
It's
God we have him.
yeah, that is so different, because like every day we do have dinner together, sitting down at the table, like all 4 of us or whatever, and the dog barking at us the whole time. And I don't think about like how yours is so different than that.
Mm-hmm. We have been lately able to have some dinner time together. Mike's been getting off a little bit earlier than normal lately, which is nice. Not every day, but some days. So that's nice. So sometimes my son will be like, "Are we having dinner at the table again?"
Oh, do you ever cook for Mike, or is he always?
No, I do.
You
Yeah.
do?
I don't do it. I don't cook a lot.
I could never ever for him. I feel like ever.
He cooks most of the food, but I do. I mean, I can make a crock.
I'm not saying you can't. I just didn't know if he would be like, I can
No, he
tell.
eats it.
Okay.
I'm actually making dinner tonight.
Oh,
so,
look at you.
it's a recipe that I've made for a while from Pinterest, and it's like a chicken enchilada bake, like in a casserole dish type thing. But it's super simple. It's just a couple 4 ingredients and easy to make, and he likes it. And you just throw some like salsa verde down there, and there you go. So
Do your kids eat it too?
they won't eat that, so I'll make that
See,
something
isn't that
different.
hard?
It is.
It's a
Yeah.
whole other thing we can talk about.
Yeah.
How to get your kids to eat. Madison will eat anything under the sun. Carter likes something one day, and then the next day he's like, I never liked that. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Right.
Braden's a much better eater. Olivia, horrible eater.
Same. Carter's same. If it has cheese on it, or if it has chicken nugget in the sentence, he'll go for it.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Oh yeah, Olivia's a
hit
big
or
dairy
miss.
girl. Cheese, dairy, she's real big into that.
So we'll be covering lots of topics, like she said, our different lives as moms, things like having kids during COVID, spouse relationships, any anxieties and stuff as a mom, and then like we have ideas for guests.
We do.
Quite a good list or whatever. So if anybody ever has anything you would like to hear us discuss or talk about or questions, we are always open.
Yes, leave comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say about our episodes. Anything that you'd like to chime in, we'll respond. We will learn how to respond. And we'd love to hear like what you guys want to hear us talk about.
My husband can do it. I was gonna say he could just be like the manager, the IT manager for everything. Like I can't do it. But and we're very unfiltered. Not as in like we say bad words or anything, but I mean
She doesn't. I do.
we might. I don't know,
Not
but
really in this setting.
yes,
but, you know.
not here. But as in none of this is rehearsed. If you haven't been able to tell already. My husband already told me a few times, limit how much you say poop, because I do talk about that quite a bit, but I'll try not to. But yes, we're very unfiltered, and these are basically like our conversations, how many play dates our kids have had, and we're sitting in each other's playrooms while the kids are playing, and we're just having these like crazy conversations or things that we felt individually that made us feel crazy, and then we realized we feel exactly the same way. It's going to be a lot like that. So hopefully...
Yep.
Hopefully people can relate or just come and listen and not feel like you're nuts. Or maybe we all are, I don't know.
Yeah.
Your eyes are so blue. I can't look. I feel like I'm gazing into your eyes.
It's great lighting in here. Well, hopefully, I don't know, hopefully people are like watching us, and hopefully we'll loosen up a little bit. You know, this is our first podcast, so I don't even know where to look. So if you catch me kind of like looking everywhere, I'm looking at the computer, the microphone, Shayna. I don't know what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out. So just bear with us,
Yes.
and we'll do better.
You look pretty. But yes, this is just our first one. This was a get to know us getting comfortable and just telling you what's to come, and basically letting you know if you're a mom, watch us.
Yeah, we're here to help support you.
It might not even be anything we have experience with that you want to hear about, but we might know somebody who will be a guest with us to talk about things. So any ideas or anything, we have quite a bit of a list already, but we want to like go for an audience. So whatever you have.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching our first episode.
And
We'll see you soon.
yes, bye.
Bye.
You're not crazy.